2024's Game of the Year nominees were recently released. Recently as in a few weeks ago, but at the time of me making the video and writing this. And I gotta say, I'm not sure if all of these games really deserve to be here. We all know the further along the Game Awards go, the more of a joke it becomes. And it peaked when Xenoblade 3 was a nominee a few years ago. You go, Fluke Guy. We all love you. Giving us the same energy as Cowbell. Many games were released this year, and as is in every year in this godforsaken market, but to choose these 6, I'm not entirely sure. So let's talk about it. Oh, and real quick, before I get started, my opinion matters absolutely nothing. It is no value at all. This is just a guy who has a knack for game design with no influence at all, just spouting his ideas on the internet. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Tell me why you disagree in the comments. I love talking with you guys. And now, let's get started with the first one. Astro Bot is a 3D platformer developed by Team Asobi and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, which we all know is just Sony. This game is a lot of fun to play. It's enjoyable, feels great to play on the PS5 with its controller, and I feel it's innovative towards 3D platformers as a whole. Dare I say, it rivals Mario Odyssey. The game is simple. Levels can sometimes feel repetitive, but that's nothing new when it comes to playing platformers. Many collectibles and platformers don't have a purpose other than just completion or small unlocks, and this game is no different with that. Except this game goes to a level of collaboration that can only be seen by Super Smash Bros., with its thousands of VIP bots from other IPs that are connected to Sony. They even got Joker from Persona 5. It's pretty cool. I feel this game on the roster is unsurprising to see. The Game Awards like to at least put in one casual game into every lineup for the nominations, and I respect that. It's important to give casual gamers a voice. They are a part of the community and they deserve it. Speaking of things that are deserving of their choice, Balatro is an indie game developed by Local Thunk. Wait, did I read that right? Indie game? Game of the Year? Alright, this year's indie game nomination is, nomination is Balatro. This game took the world by storm when it came out, and it's not too surprising to see why. It's a solo innovation on traditional card games, and as we all know, some of the oldest games the human race has come up with have been card games. Thank you, Past Chicker. You're welcome. How did you hear me? Balatro at its core is a roguelike deck building game, focused on achieving points using the combination of hands and jokers with your deck. The cards in your deck are those similar to a traditional deck of playing cards: hearts, spades, clubs, diamonds, all those. With the replayability and publicity of this game, it is unsurprising to see it as a nominee for the lineup, as well as the factor you can play this game on your phone. Portable gambling. It's the future. Soon we'll have casino toilets that steal your excrement as credits for money. I can't think of a good transition. Black Myth Wukong is an action combat adventure game from Game Science, a mobile development team who took their first steps into PC and absolutely crushed it. All first impressions of this game are positive, and I think being monkey is one of the best things about it. As far as action games go, this one is really good. One of the most important aspects of an action game is the feel of the game when you play it, and this game delivers on it. Many people walked into this game expecting a Souls-like, only finding disappointment. And to those I say, I kinda thought the same thing when I was looking at the gameplay, but knowing the kind of game you're walking into will drastically alter your experience with it. A great example of this is Final Fantasy XVI. Before I bought it, I asked my friend about the game, and he said it feels more like an action game than an RPG. Me knowing that made my experience with the game miles better than if I were walking into it expecting an RPG. So I feel this game received unjust punishment in that area. Story-wise, the game is based on a myth, so it's fine. Environment-wise, it does a decent job. Character-wise, it's meh, but I feel like this is a good pick for Game of the Year. Tons of people enjoyed it. It's an action game. Those do well. Wait, is this a good pick? Or is this a safe pick? Well, as much as I'd love to go into corporate politics, I don't have time for that. Okay, as much as I'd love to talk about Elden Ring because I have so much to say about this game, can we just take a second to... What? Why is this on here? We're counting DLC as entire games now? Why wasn't Xenoblade 3 DLC counted then, huh? That's an entirely different game in the game, not just a build-off on what was already there. Why is this here? Best DLCs? Yeah, absolutely. I'd put it under that category. I'd give it a fucking trophy. But is it really deserving of a slot for Game of the Year? Not DLC of the Year, but Game of the Year. I'm sorry to Elden Ring fans out there, but this is bullshit. This does not deserve to be a nomination for Game of the Year. Its mere presence feels like a bill lobbied into Congress. That's a little US joke about the relations between the rich and the government. Ha ha! Sorry, I'll stop now. This does not deserve to be on the list. If you'd like to see a video on my thoughts on Elden Ring as its entirety, let me know, and I'll fit that into the long list of videos I'm going to make. Anyways, God fuck! Okay. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a piece of the full remake of Final Fantasy VII. It is an RPG developed and published by Square Enix. The big question, does this game deserve to be on the list like Elden Ring? Because it is a remake or remaster of the original game. My personal answer, yes. Because this game feels nothing like the original. There's a lot of similarities, they have the same characters, then the same soul is there, but this game just feels fundamentally different. It plays different. I don't even consider it a remaster of the original, I considered it as a standalone game. And as a standalone game, it's amazing. As a sequel, it's amazing. Taking what was before and building on top of it, making it better. Something that another Game of the Year game didn't do. But we'll get to that one someday. We will get to you someday. I feel this game deserves to be on the list. It's an amazing experience with tons of fun minigames and challenges to explore and enjoy throughout. The gameplay cycle is fun, and the combat is just so enjoyable for an RPG of its time. And I feel like this is an amazing step in the right direction for future Final Fantasy games to come. And finally, we have Metaphor ReFantasio, or is it ReFantasio? However you pronounce it. This game caught me completely off guard, and it surprised me. A game made by Atlus and directed by the same man who made Persona 5. You know it's going to be a good experience. But nothing could keep me in store for what I was about to experience with this game. To summarize, this is another spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series, but it feels so detached from Shin Megami Tensei as a whole, it's difficult to compare it to any game that Atlus has made. It's the team's take on a fantasy world with classic JRPG elements. With a calendar system and socio-political commentary, the roots of Persona are there, but in no way is this Persona. The world they cultivate is captivating and feels like a modern experience in a fantasy world. With a job system unique to this game and detached so far from its SMT roots, it is beautiful. The game does take away some elements of Shin Megami Tensei that, while I do miss, I feel the game more than makes up for that with what it provides that is unique. Does this game deserve to be on the roster? Abso-fucking-lutely. This is without a doubt one of the strongest games to come out of 2024 and stormed the competition so late into the running. Overall, I'd say we have a pretty great lineup for this year's Game of the Year. This lineup of games each individually contributes to its own genre in innovative and powerful ways, and it is extremely exciting to see who will win because we have a little bit of everything here. I am Chicker, and thank you for your time. And if you would excuse me, I have to go burn for my sins.